Hey, seventh graders, we're back. This is 3.5, example 2. And now we're adding fractions. OMG, fractions, yes. But they're not as bad as the reputation that they have, I promise. So, same thing here. We're going to rewrite the problem. Okay, remember, we're just going to do one step at a time to kind of break things down, and it's not as daunting as this whole thing may seem, right? So, rewrite the equation, and to just like if this was a whole number plus 1, it's just a fraction. So I'm going to add 1/2 to both sides because the inverse of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 1/2 here and add 1/2 here. So the addition property of equality means to keep the equation equal, I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. So now, when I add this to both sides, I'm left with nothing here, and I have x over 8 equals negative 7/2 plus 1/2 is negative 3. So now I'm not done. I still need to get this x by itself. So this is x divided by 8. Well, the inverse of divided by is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. So if I multiply by 8 here and I multiply by 8 here, I'm left with x all alone because these cancel out. And then 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, and I'm all done. You can check your answer by plugging in negative 24 to your original equation and making sure that it checks out, and it does, so we know that that's correct. All right, make sure you have your notes available to you so you can see these steps when you're working on your assignment. So now we have another one with fractions. Let's see how they do it in their video.
Solve n divided by 9 plus 2/3 equals negative 2/3. So first let's rewrite our equation. We have n divided by 9 plus 2/3 equals negative 2/3. So first notice there are two operations in the equation. We divide by 9 and we add 2/3. So this will be a two-step equation. Also, the goal of this equation is to get n by itself. So let's start by getting n divided by 9 by itself, and then we'll use another step to get n by itself. So first, to get n divided by 9 by itself, we must undo the addition. To do this, we will subtract 2/3 from both sides, because we are using the inverse operation of addition. So we have n divided by 9 plus 2/3 minus 2/3, which gives us n divided by 9. Then we have negative 2/3 minus 2/3. Now remember, when we're subtracting rational numbers, we need to add the opposite. So we have negative 2/3 plus the opposite, which is negative 2/3. So notice that both denominators are 3, so we can add the numerators. Negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4, and we keep the denominator of 3. So we have negative 4/3. Now we have n divided by 9 equals negative 4/3. To get n by itself, we need to use the inverse operation of division, that is multiplication. So we multiply by 9. Now since we multiplied by 9 on the left, we must also multiply by 9 on the right side of the equation. So now let's simplify. 9 times n divided by 9 gives us 1n, which is just an n, and that's equal to 9 times negative 4/3. Remember, when we multiply a whole number by a fraction, the whole number is over 1. So now let's look for common factors in the numerator and denominator. We see that there's a common factor of 3. So divide out a 3 and simplify. Multiply the numerators. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And the denominator is 1 times 1 is 1. So negative 12 over 1 is negative 12. So we solved n divided by 9 plus 2/3 equals negative 2/3 and found the solution n equals.
All right, there you have it. This is how I would write it out as well. So you're going to subtract, bring everything down, and you end up with n is negative 12 at the end. All right, let's try a few on your own. So we have m over 2 plus 6 equals 10. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides here, and then multiply by 2. Then here we're going to subtract 5 from both sides, then multiply by negative 3. We're going to subtract 2/5 from both sides, and then divide by 4. So those are the steps, and we want to undo the addition and subtraction before we do the multiplication and division. So try those out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, pause. Okay, now that you're back, let's take a look at the answers here. If you didn't get these answers, make sure you come to the Google Meet with your questions, and we can take a look and work them out together. All right, I'll see you.